Right, let's add some of the functionality so we can actually see what happens. So right now the damage and reset doesn't really do a lot, right? Because the buttons here, they are just, we are binding them to on a click, and the action actually happens here where it does this, but we can't really see it, right? So it is resetting and it is taking the damage and so on. So what we need to do first is I'm gonna start with the bar color here. So our health bar, for each time we click it, we want to remove 10, right? This is 100 right now, and we want to remove 10. Now, if this is divided up into a percentage, then we can just say for each percentage it's missing, just remove that part. Or if it's pixels, then you do this. I'm going to use percentage here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to bind a style to this. And so that means I'm going to do vbind and style, like so. And in this style, I want my object here, and I want to change the width, right? This is the color of the bar, as we just did in here. So not that one. Where's the style? Style, it's down here. The color of the bar says dark green. Where's that at? There we go. This button here down here, right? This is the one we want to change, right? So the width of this one. Right now, it's just all the way over because we haven't said anything. But we want to change this with our width here. So width will be something, right? And the width should equal to this one, because 100%, right? That's really smart from the get-go. So for each time I take damage, it goes 100, 90, 70, 80, whatever, right? I forgot one, I know. So we're going to use the health here to determine the length of the color, right? So health, and then we want to plus, and then use a string for this one, so we can actually print out the percentage sign here. So that's what we want to do. So let's see if this works. Click save, update, and if I click damage, hopefully it takes a chunk off my hit points, right? And I can continue doing this. And I can hit reset. Woo, that worked already because it's being set up already. So now we have damage to this part, and that's cool. But when I'm at 0 health, right, I don't really want to be able to click damage. I only wanted to be able to click reset, because what's the point of this button right now? So in our code with our reset down here, we can actually use the vShow that we just used in some of the previous videos. So vShow, and what is it that we wanted to rely on? So we wanted to check out if the game, right now it's going, and we're at 0%. That means the state of the game has changed from true to false, right? So our game is now ended. Well, from false to true. The game is ended, that is now true. So once we're at this point, if we look at the code again, once we're at this point where the game is either true or false, we want it to disappear. So from get-go, if we set it to true ended here, right? This is right now, it means it's not there. So if I click save, it's false, then it disappears. That's kind of not what we want, right? We also need to actually set it to the other one, not to the restart button. We need it to be on the damage one here. So from get-go, now I can click damage. That's not smart. So we wanted to revert this. Instead of this being false from start, we want it to be true from start, right? So we're going to do not ended. So click this, save, and now damage is here, and I go, and when I click this, it should disappear. And it does. As you can see over here, it goes from display none now, because the state is now changed. To get it back, I need to reset, so it's back like this. Awesome. So another thing I want to change is, once I get to 0, I want to change the image up here. So instead of him being at full health, I want it to be the bloody one, right? So let's go up here where we have our player. Where is he at? Oops, sorry. And we want to look into, there we go, player. So here, we're going to do the vbind, and we're going to attach the class. And the reason why we attach a class is because in our CSS, we already did this one here. So this is player normal, like full health. And I added this done part, this image here. And where'd it go? It's somewhere. But yes, you can see I'm just importing another image if this class is attached to it, right? So we need to somehow make this class be attached to the div where the image is if the game has the state of the game has changed, right? So the class we want, and we want an object again. The thing we want to check here is, if we're in here, we want to check again if something happened here, right? So we want to go from one state to the other, right? So the thing we want to add, the class we want to add was dead. So from here, this is the class we want to add to it, right? So we added the dead, and then we're going to check, is this true or false? Like we did with this before with the, for example, the red, and then true, and then he adds the class red, right? So it's the same principle here. And then we're going to check if ended is either true or false. So that's what we want. So let's try this out. So add the class dead if this is true. From get-go, it's false, because that's what it states here. And once we get to the ended part of the game, when we're at 0 hit points here, it's true, so we're adding the class of true. So let's try this out. Reset, woo, works still, yay. And then bam, 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 bam. And then the last one should also change the image, right? So now we change the image, we change the bar here to go nowhere, and then we can do the reset. So this is a really simple version of the game. Now you can of course add to this, and I just did a little more, but I don't want to show you what I did because this could be the challenge for you. But this is just building on the same, so we still have punch, restart, and I forgot to actually copy the styles over here. But here we're also showing the amount of health. This could also be in here, and the damage taken. And if we do punch, we can see that it took 10 damage. I also did a math random and math floor for this. So instead of being 10 all the time, it's actually going between, I think, 1 and 10 in this case. And it states the remaining health as well. It's the same down here. And you can see it changes the color when it gets to a specific point with an if statement. And changes the color, the face up here. Let's do it again. So first image, and then it turns red in a moment, and then even more. And when we get to the last part, oops, I went a little too fast there with the restart button. And at the end, right, it's at 0. So there's just states in between of what I did here, so I just added more to my code. But this is a starting point for this game, and when you get to class, you're going to try to build upon this this dude here and expand the game to be a little bit more than just what we've created here. But for now, this is just how we can use some of the things we learned in the previous videos. With the states, with view, with true, false, booleans, bind, on, and so on and so on. So see you in the next video where we'll continue creating we'll build upon what we know, adding a little bit more, and then we'll try to build something like a attendance form kind of thing we're going to build in the next couple of videos. See you then.